Alright, so this is for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, 60 to 120 minutes. You are a junior producer at Mr. Grumpy Movies. Your boss, this guy right here, Bartholomew Grumpy, is pretty fed up with the movie business. A few good published movies, and he will enjoy his early retirement on his party boat. But who will become his successor? That's where the clubbing and the stabbing begins. Just produce some movies, get a lot of victory points, win the game, but your fellow producers and that guy won't make it easy for you. Winning his favor helps you out as you're playing the game. As you might guess, with a play time of 60 to 120 minutes, this is kind of a heavier game, and there's a lot going on the board here. In fact, this table's rather small, so I can't actually display all the boards at one time. One thing I will point out are the production cards, these things right here. We've got the scripts, these things right here. We've got some stars right here. We've got some trends right here. And we have the annual plans right here. Each of these will play a different role throughout the game, but in terms of how they're organized, these are the 5 different kinds of cards you can see in the game. One other fun part of this game are these top secret files. Now, this is going to be a chance to get Mr. Grumpy on your side to help do some stuff for you. The catch is that this is always going to have a negative side effect to you. Now, the good news here is that you can play the game with them or without them. There's a variant that'll let you play either way you like. If you want to keep your hands clean, this is a great way to play. So the full game has 10 rounds, and one round consists of 5 different phases. You've got the Grumpy phase, the working phase, the premiere phase, the selling phase, and the upkeep phase. So the Grumpy phase starts with the annual plan. Now, this doesn't happen in the first round, but it'll start from the second round going forward. This is basically Mr. Grumpy here talking about what's going to happen for the year coming up. So they're making your annual plans, and these are basically just limitations for different ways the game can be played. So let your colleague show you how to do it right. This symbol here means this must be played immediately, for example. This one says you can only publish drama movies this round. This one says you can't use the credit card this round, and so on. This initial phase of the game is also when you'll be getting your initial money to make your movies. It'll be from 1 to 5 based on Mr. Grumpy's mood. You'll start with 3, but have a chance to pretty quickly work your way up to 4 or even 5. The next phase is called the working phase, and this has several turns. This is where the worker placement aspect of the game will come out. You'll basically be assigning your production assistants to move around the board and do tasks, essentially. If you don't have one, or if you don't want to use them, you can always pass until the phase is over. The tasks you have available are to buy a script, or cast a star, or prepare a movie production. You can charge a credit card, you can order overtime, you can sabotage, you can denounce a player, you can be nice to Grumpy. Weird thing to do there. You can reveal a secret, you can become the first player, and you can also publish a movie. Whew, that's a lot of tasks. The third phase is called the premiere phase, and if you've published a movie, you can now have its world premiere. And basically there are 3 markets that are available in this game. You've got the Americas, you've got Europe, and you've got China, each of which has its own advantage. Releasing your movie in the US gives you more money, releasing in Europe gives you more victory points, and releasing in China gives you a chance to draw another card, basically. If you've published a movie, this will also be where you score your victory points, and these will be based on your script, your star, the production cards you used, the trends, and the market. So a lot of different ways to score points there. You also have a selling phase and an upkeep phase, and that basically ends the round, and then you'll start a new year, basically. No game about movies would be complete without handing out some awards at the end of the game. These awards will go to people that were the most hardworking producer, in other words, the player that published the most movies. The king of the world, someone who published movies in each of the 3 markets. The jack of all trades, someone who published at least 1 movie. The patriot, someone who published the most movies in a given market, and so on. So this is end of game scoring, essentially. Bonuses for that. So it's a little bit long, it's a little bit detailed, but one thing I do like about it is the sense of humor you get in the movies here. Now, if you're a fan of American movies from the 1990s, the 80s, the 2000s, you will immediately get some of these references. And I think even if you're not familiar, some of them will probably become familiar to them the more you learn about the various movies and such. So just something else that I enjoyed as I've been testing this game out are the different types of movies that are in the game. Okay, so that was a quick look at Movie Empire. I'm sorry there wasn't really a lot of time to really go over into every intricate detail of the whole structure or whatever, but there's a lot of game to play here. I like the theme of the game. I think it's a great simulation of how a movie is made. I also like the humor in the fake movies and the fake actors and actresses. If you're familiar, again, with the 90s and 2000s American movies, a lot of this humor will be fun for you. Longer games like this are not normally my cup of tea because I usually like the shorter games, and also, honestly, I have kind of a shorter attention span. Like squirrel? What? Where? Squirrel? In all seriousness, there is a shorter version of the game outlined in the rules. Basically, you play 7 rounds instead of 10. You can also combine this with the clean hands rules that basically take out the top secret dirty dossiers, if you like. There are definitely plenty of chances to stab other people in the back and try to make the best movie you can with the constraints and stuff. So there's a lot going on. If you like movies, if you like more complex sort of games, this one's going to be right up your alley. This has been Chris from Games Previewed. Thanks a lot for watching.